Today I want to share with you 15 things that I wish I knew when I was starting my multi-million-dollar business. For reference, I'm Brock Mammoser, the founder of Frost Buddy, and in the last 2 years, Frost Buddy's generated over $30 million in sales. So I want to share with you what I wish I knew, what I wish someone had told me, because there's a lot of learnings, a lot of growth that's happened over the last 2 years, and I thought I could get back some value. I just want to let you know that, I'm not here to give you anything. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm just here to take what I'm learning on this journey and, help other young entrepreneurs, other people that want to start a business. The first thing I wish I knew was actually that it's not a get rich quick scheme. It's not. And a lot of people, I think, give off the idea that it is. You'll see a lot of gurus on YouTube and on Instagram, TikTok that, make you think that you can make $1 billion in 2 years, like Instagram or like something like that. But it is not. Like, business deals take time. Okay. So no matter what you're in, like, deals just take time, right? And different changes to your business. Innovation takes time. It might take months for a new product to come out. It might take months for you to get into a large retailer such as Walmart or Dick's Sporting Goods. And so when you think it's this get rich quick, like, it's just not going to happen. A real business, a real valuable business, and a multi-million-dollar business is created over just consistently laying the foundation, laying blocks for you to build upon, and building your team and building your value, your product values. It's basically like this. You're going to be running at 1,000,000 miles per hour all the time, every day, but you have to have the patience to know that you're going to have to do that for probably anywhere from 5 to 10 years to actually start seeing some major compound effects, major value. So, when you see these overnight successes, you probably look back at the foundation of them and when did they start? And it was probably like 20 or 30 years ago, which is crazy because it's just surviving long enough, getting through all of those challenges, all of those obstacles long enough to finally get your big break. It's all about speed in the micro when you have patience in the macro. Favorite quote from Gary Vee that he talks about, you're going to hustle all the time, but have the patience to know that, true business development happens over time. So, the next thing is going to be number 2. Culture is absolutely crucial. So you want to, really start your business and have an idea of what kind of culture you want. Because if you don't have that, when you start to expand, when you start to bring people on, and your culture is not there, there's going to be a lot of problems. You have to be very intentional about do you want this startup hustle culture, garage startup culture that you want to have even when you're this huge corporation? For us, it's I want to develop that culture of winning. I want to develop that culture of just figuring things out and going for it and innovating. And so you have to set that at the very beginning. And whenever you hire someone, whenever you bring someone else on, you have to make that very, very known that, hey, this is the expectation. This is what kind of culture we have. And, it's just like anything. When Tom Brady, when someone goes to his team, when someone goes to the Buccaneers or when he was on the Patriots, they knew what kind of culture was there. And so when you have that culture, when you have that expectation, people can either live up to it or they'll get out. That's something that I, wish someone had told me that and mentioned how crucial that piece is. So, third is, hiring is the most difficult thing ever. People don't teach you about hiring. That college doesn't teach you about it. Nothing teaches you how to hire, right? But when you're hiring people, when you have to expand your team, you want to hire rock stars, and that will 10x your business. It will absolutely blow up your business if you hire the right people. And so who do I look for? How do I find? You got to look for self-starters. You have to look for people that you can say, hey, here's the objective. And then they're like, okay, cool. I'll take it from here. I'll figure out how we're going to get there and I'll do it. And if I need to hire people under me to do it, then I'll do that too. Look for people that take initiative, that absolutely have a go-getter mentality and that are going to take the challenge and say, you know what, I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I'm going to get there, and trust me. When you find those self-starters, when you find people that, see your vision, see your passion, and they have the same passion, the same vision, and they might even have a different vision that they can see. It's not necessarily even having the skills. They can learn the skills. It's about, do they have the want and do they have the drive? Number 4 is going to be looking at new ideas, new decisions. When you're in a startup, it's fast paced. You have all these ideas, right? And I'm sure you're going to have a million different things that you can do, different ideas, whatever that might be. When you're thinking through decisions, I want you to do 3 things with scenarios. I want you to say, what's the absolute best case scenario? What's the absolute worst case scenario that could happen? I mean, the worst, right? Something that might just take down the business. And then somewhere in the middle. What does that look like? I want you to think about all three of those, because I wish with every decision that I was going to make from the start, I had sat down and wrote that out. Hey, what's the best? What's the worst? What could possibly happen in the middle? Because when I look at the worst, now you can prepare ahead of time for, hey, if shit goes south, if this goes really, really south, then we'll be okay. We'll be prepared for this to happen, because we know that it could, but it's probably not going to happen. We're going to do everything in our power to make it the best. But to just have that in your mind, to have the company understand that, hey, this could happen, it's going to go so far, and you're going to protect yourself from getting completely knocked out. You might take a punch to the face, but you won't get knocked out. The next is so important to me, because no one ever really talks about it, but keeping customers is so much more valuable than even acquiring them. And it's so much cheaper. So the customer experience, customer loyalty, creating community, that is something that, like, from the start, I wish I had just went all in on understanding and developing the customer experience and the customer culture, because it's so much easier for me and so much cheaper to send emails or to talk in a Facebook group to my customers that I currently have and keep them than it is to just continue to spend on advertising and spend all these marketing dollars to keep acquiring new people, but then they just leave out the door. So understanding and really being thoughtful about, hey, what are the best ways to keep customers? Whether that is building that Facebook group, or whether that is just, having a great customer service team and making sure, like Amazon does, the customer always wins, the customer's always right, and just making that the best experience possible. Because I promise you, the higher percentage of customers that you can keep and the higher percentage of customers you can keep coming back will create the most profitable and the best long-term business. And so going into that, thinking about that customer journey is going to help you so much. And you're gonna have some bad eggs. You're gonna have some bad fish that just never are gonna be happy. And sometimes you screw up, and that's okay. But it's about how can we raise that percentage? And so then the next thing is gonna be about marketing. Because at the end of the day, the best known product, the best known service is going to win, in my opinion. And so, producing that content, producing TikToks, producing YouTube videos, looking at, hey, how can I touch my customers at the top of mind everywhere I can touch them? And, having a focus on the marketing side of things, because if someone has a good product, but they don't have any marketing whatsoever, and then someone has a product that's a little worse, but they have the greatest marketing in the entire world, everyone knows them, guess what? They win. They always win every day, all day, because people do business with who they know. So, make your business known, make people feel like they know you. In today's world, in 2023, the people that will win in terms of being the best known are the creators, are the people that are on TikTok, that are showing behind the scenes. This is who we are, this is what we do, and showing that trust and kind of having that small business appeal to people, because that's more trustworthy. They don't necessarily trust the big corporations with the polished commercials. I promise you, people are going to gravitate towards that, and just understanding that getting out there top of mind in every touch point possible, every social platform. If you need to dominate one, probably TikTok or YouTube, if I had to say right now. Business is infinite, decisions are infinite. Like, don't put that timeline. Understand that, in 10, 20 years, if you're trying to build a really long-term business, there's no need to rush. Focus on the quality. It will be much better in the long term, because it's finite, or it's not finite. Like I said, don't think about it like that. Everyone does, and it just gets you in trouble. So don't do it. The next thing I'm going to go to is absolutely know your numbers as much as possible. So what we didn't do for the longest time is we didn't build this profit formula. We're looking at, hey, what are all of my variable costs? What are all my fixed costs? And, what do I need to make to profit? Okay. And so knowing your numbers inside and out and just having them organized from the start is going to go so far. So, it might not seem important when you're first starting, because you might not be making that much, but knowing them is crucial, because as they grow, as they get bigger, it gets more complex inevitably. So keeping everything as simple as possible and just knowing and checking it daily, weekly, monthly. And hey, for every single unit that I'm selling, or for every service that I'm selling, what am I bringing in to my bottom line, to the bank account? Okay, so then the next thing I'm going to go to, and this one might be the biggest one, connections. Relationships are everything. Everything I've gotten is literally connection-based, relationship-based. You can do everything you want. You never know who is going to pay off in the long run. Like, literally, you don't know. There could be some random LinkedIn connection that 2 years later, all of a sudden pays off. They know someone that knows someone that knows this buyer, okay? Or they know this huge client. You don't know. So, I utilize LinkedIn really hard. This the best place to make connections in the world, in my opinion, because you can talk to some really, really powerful people. And so value those relationships, value everyone you come into contact with. Next, we're gonna go to business is changing in 2023. It's not just online. Online, it's struggling. And so if you're just starting, understand that it's not just simply Facebook ads and a Shopify store anymore. It's not just an Amazon business anymore. Okay, so when you're gonna start this, I want you to look at all these different pillars that your business, that your service could have. Where are the different places that you could make revenue? You don't necessarily need to start with all of them. But like when I look at Frostbuddy, when I look at our company, I'm like, hey, we can make money online on our store. We can make money on Amazon. We could do customized. We could do engraving or we could do wholesale. So I could sell to Walmart. There's 6 or 7 different outlets that we could make revenue to where we don't have to focus 100% online, because at some point you want to have this diversification so that if one does start to struggle, you still have these others to keep you strong, to keep the company moving forward. But like I said, you don't have to start with all of them, but just understand that it's not just online. To have a true mature business, with that, I want you to fail fast and I want you to fail often. We're gonna fail. We're gonna make mistakes inevitably. Like, it is literally impossible not to make mistakes. We made so many, probably more in year 2 than year 1 even, right? Because there's just different challenges and different things that happen. So make those mistakes, but I want you to do one crucial thing with them. When you fail, when you make the mistake, I want you to learn really fast. I want you to fix it really fast. And I want you to understand what happened. We're gonna fail. We're gonna make those mistakes. Take it on the chin. And like I said, we're just trying to get punched in the face, but not get knocked out. We don't want the knockout. We'll take the little slaps, the little punches, the little setbacks, but how fast can you learn and how fast can you get better from them? Because what happens is 5-10 years down the road, after you've made all of these mistakes, after you've learned all of this, what you're gonna do is you're gonna look back and be like, wow, we've had the experiences that have been tough and challenging, but we've gotten through it. So from a mental standpoint and just from a business standpoint, you're stronger all around. And then keeping the business lean. I think a lot of people want to grow it so big. If you can keep it lean for as long as possible, and what I mean by that is, how do you not need to have a ton of overhead? Do you really need all the employees? Can you outsource a little different? Could you use an agency? There's a lot of advertising agencies out there. There's email agencies. There's third-party fulfillment centers that you could use if you have a product. There's so many different ways that you can do that to allow your company to stay lean. In my opinion, in my experience, to stay lean is going to be better, because this goes in the next point. I'm going to put these points together. Everyone has one thing that you do great. You probably had an idea. You probably have a service or an idea for a service that has a value proposition. And the first thing that gets your business off the ground, most of the time, whatever helps you really explode, really boost up, that's going to be your best thing, probably. Right. And so, for us, our universal can cooler, right? So that is what we double down on. I want you to double down on that one thing that is fantastic. And I want you to go hard on that one thing for as long as you can. Keep the process simple and dominate that one thing. It becomes so known that eventually, if you can delay, wanting to go to the new shiny thing, the new product expansion, if you can delay that and just double down on what you do absolutely better than anyone else, unbelievable. Eventually, when you do go to expand, it's going to be so much easier. Innovation. There's so many people out there. If you look at businesses, once you get into it, look at it. There's so many Me Too products. And this is what Apple does better than anyone else in the world. And what really took them off before now that Steve Jobs isn't there, it's not quite as great. This is what took them off, is the innovation. It wasn't how can we do it better? Is how can we do it different? And it's very challenging. It's very difficult. It's very easy to do a Me Too product. And what a Me Too product is how do we do it better? How do we take one feature, one little function, or one little thing of the service and make it a little better? No, don't look. I want you to do this. I want you to look at it and say, how do we do it different? When we did our koozie and we did it different than everyone else in the market, this will absolutely 10x, 20x, 100x your business. I promise you, because it will slice through the competition. It will slice through the market. Your marketing will go so much further because it's different, it's innovative, it's unique, and people gravitate towards that. Truly taking the time to look at the innovation of your products, of your service, because that will 10x everything. I promise you. And then my last point for this is that everything is negotiable. When you're working with businesses, when you're working with consumers, everything's negotiable. Okay. So from a B2B standpoint, you're going to have to work with other businesses, whether it's fulfillment, whether it's agencies, or whether it's whatever it is. It's negotiable, and always be skeptical in businesses. When you're working with other people, be skeptical and be alert, because businesses will try to screw you over. They will try to get you stuck into contract, and don't let them do that. Be tough, negotiate with them, always be skeptical. If someone throws a contract in your face and says, you need to sign it right away, do not do that. And I promise you'll get stuck into it and you'll lose a lot of money for no reason. So just understand that you can negotiate everything and don't let people walk all over you, even if they're bigger. And so when you have those contracts, when you have different opportunities to work with business, stand strong, and that just know that in the back of your head, hey, it's all business. Doing business is truly just working with someone else. It's nothing more simple than that. And everyone's just trying to get the best deal for themselves. So when you understand that, when you have that bit of skepticism, it will help you in so many deals, because that's all business is going to be, is more deals, deals, deals. If you liked this, hit that subscribe, give me a like, give me a little extra share, do what you can. But like I said, just trying to help out with the journey. If you have any questions, comment below. I'll see what I can do. I answer anything and everything that I can. Let me know what you want to hear next, and that's all I got. So we'll see you next time.